So, yes. I listened to Roland Martin and Yvette Carnell getting into their little Twitter beef and whatnot. And Roland Martin made this video in his car defending Kamala Harris's lack of policy positions. And I don't even like this because I can tell with Roland Martin, he's very much interested in sororities and fraternities doing well. So I question if his main motivation in supporting Kamala Harris is just that she's an AKA and he wants to say that, you know, AKAs are doing well or doing big things. He tries to make this case saying that she's only announced her candidacy 3 days ago. So it's going to take her a while to have an agenda and policy positions. But in reality, if you announce for a presidency, but you haven't stopped to think about what you're actually going to do and what your actual agenda is, then basically you're just doing it out of vanity. You just want to be president just because you think you're just hot stuff. So really, she should have an agenda and policy position before she even announced she's going to be in the race. And it's just like, it's just silly. And it kind of makes me mad that Roland Martin doesn't believe, you know, black people in general should have like policy positions. Like we should just be out here just accepting any old thing, you know, just because, you know, they're kind of black, you know, or part black. Somebody because they're part black. I mean, I'm all about hearing her out, but as far as hearing her out, she's been around since 2003. District attorney, AG, 2 years as senator. As soon as she became a senator, first thing she did was court Hillary Clinton donors. So she was just gearing up for the next thing instead of actually making a case for herself as a senator. And you compare it to somebody like a Tulsi Gabbard who's been in, who's been in Congress since 2012. She's actually initiated the Stop Funding Terrorism Now bill. Staunchly anti-interventionist. Went to Syria, actually saw for herself what was going on instead of just simply going with the corporate narratives. I mean, someone like a Tulsi Gabbard's actually made a name for herself as an anti-interventionist, and that's made something that's part of her platform before she even came into being wanting to be the president. So we already know what we're getting with a Tulsi Gabbard. Same thing with Elizabeth Warren. I mean, she came in 2000 and I want to say 10 with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Advocated for that, fought for that, held Wall Street's feet to the fire. And so she had a brand before she showed up wanting to be president. And that's how it should be when you want to be a president. You want to be a president, run for president. It shouldn't be you announce and then just make it up as you go along. And because she's making it up as she's going along, you're seeing her already backtrack from what she said in her town hall 2 days ago or on Monday. So she's backtracking from stuff she said there less than 24 hours because she didn't have a good solid center and she hasn't thought about her political philosophy. I mean, Kamala Harris is just a really bad candidate. I mean, she really isn't prepared to do what she's doing. She doesn't come off as confident when she talks. And even just when Jake Tapper asked her, said she was going to be the first black female president, she didn't really even agree with him. She just said she was the first woman in AG here, and she was the first person of color there. Person of color isn't a black woman. It's a different thing. So, I mean, I think we really should keep an eye out for Kamala Harris and see if she's even really interested in advocating for us or even just being labeled as black. You know, like a lot of mixed people don't even want to be labeled as black. And that's something we really got to come to terms with. We can't just all the time just say, well, you know, just always be giving people passes. I mean, sometimes you got to really just say, look, either you're in or you're out. So, this is what my 2 cents on the matter. But Roland Martin, I mean, so he gave an interview to Willie Brown. And Willie Brown is the man that they say Kamala Harris had sex with to get the district attorney job in San Francisco. He was the mayor of San Francisco. And so Roland Martin just gives a complete softball interview. And he tries to say, Roland Martin interjects and says, well, you've helped a lot of people in your career because you've been around for 30 years. And you've done XYZ in San Francisco. You helped Schwarzenegger. You helped Moonbeam. I can't think of Moonbeam's real name. Governor Moonbeam. Dianne Feinstein. But the question you should ask, were you sleeping with any of those people before you helped them? And did you help Kamala just because you were sleeping with her? That's the question we want to know. It's fine to help anybody you want to help, but, are you helping Kamala because you were sleeping with her? And if you weren't sleeping with her, would she have got the district attorney's job? And then Willie Brown tried to say that she is a tough prosecutor, but she's also compassionate. Well, was she compassionate with those parents that she locked up because their kids were truant? How did she show them compassion? I mean, that's just a platitude Willie Brown threw out there. And he could have thrown that out there because he's expecting a favor from Kamala as a payback. And the thing of it is, Willie Brown is a frat brother of Roland Martin. So would he have given that softball interview to a white guy who was accused of catapulting a woman's career because they slept together? And if the answer is no, he don't need to call himself a journalist, man. Like, you can't just give favorable treatment to somebody because you're in an organization with them. I mean, that's like the definition of partisanship. Especially as a journalist. That was ridiculous to give a guy a softball interview because you're both in the same frat. I mean, that's just unacceptable. That was just a horrible interview, and I think we deserve more out of Roland Martin if he's going to, put himself or elect himself as the, main black journalist of our time and stuff. We need more out of him, man. That should have been a more, hard-hitting interview and seeing if they really, if he's really just helping her because she, had sex. And Roland Martin didn't ask about who else was up for that AG position at the time. Were people with more experience up for the job? Because Kamala Harris was only 29 when she got that job. So did she get it over somebody who was like 50 and 60 and actually had credentials and stuff bagging them up? It's different if you help out somebody who has all the credentials and they're ready to go. And you just give them that fast little nudge, that last little bit of nudge. But if you just pick somebody who's like 20-something years old to do a job like district attorney, that's a big deal, If you did that just because y'all was friends or just because y'all was sleeping together, that's something we need to know, because that's her whole career was catapulted off by that. It's not really fair either. If she had to do it on her own, she might just now be a district attorney. So, it's just not fair, man. And we really need to know what happened with her before we just, all get behind her. So, that's all I got to say about that.